The research that we're presenting deals with trust and specifically how people choose to trust a financial advisor. So when we looked into the existing literature on this, we found that there were lots of gaps. So there were papers that pointed out the importance of trust and indicated that people who had trusting relationships with their financial advisor had much better outcomes. However, the drivers, the specific concrete things that financial advisors could do to generate trust with their clients was missing. And that was part of what our motivation was, is to try and bring research to bear to help answer those questions. So when we started this research, we looked at lots of different factors, things that advisors could do that might change or be an impact to the kinds of trust that people would have for them. And we looked across 18 or so different things. And we found very clear results in terms of what was a major factor that drove trust. And that was when an advisor looks out the self-interest of the client. So when an advisor is able to hold the fiduciary standard and say that they're looking out for a client's best interest, this really rises to the top as a major impact of how people develop trust for an advisor. The next factors we saw that were impactful were goal-centricity. So if people were able to explain their goals to the advisor and the advisor were able to show how the investment plan was making progress towards those goals, this was also something that really helped develop trust. So when we looked at the different factors of what could drive trust, some of these are much more cold and analytic, and some are a bit more emotive, trust coming from a kind of gut feeling. Now, we found that both of these things played a role, but we found early on in the process that people tended to lean a little bit more toward the cold and analytic as they were starting the process with a financial advisor. But this changed for people who were working with a financial advisor, who were a bit older, who had more money and were further along in the investment journey. Some of the hot factors played more of a role, things like shared values. It became an important factor in the development of trust. So we find that when advisors can say that investors' interests are first and foremost, that's one of the main drivers of trust. Advisors who can make goal centricity part of that message, understanding clients' goals and showing progress towards those goals, really helps drive this. And lastly, expertise. Financial advisors who can show that they're experts in developing portfolios and financial plans is part of what people are looking for and part of what helps develop trust in the relationship. So I think advisors can emphasize that they act as fiduciaries, that they look for the best interest of their clients and to make sure this is first and foremost in the client's minds. I know that this is how advisors operate and they take it as a given, but sometimes I think clients can forget this, and it's worth reminding them to help them keep it top of mind, that this is how financial advisors are operating and thinking. And so that reiteration that the client's interests are first and foremost, I think is really important and foundational to the development and maintenance of trust.
Any advice in this video is general advice prepared by Morningstar without reference to your objectives, financial situation, or needs. You should consider the advice in light of these matters and any relevant product disclosure statement before making any decision to invest.